I'm Deepika from 3rd BA English. I'm here to host this webinar. Happy to join with you today. A pleasant morning to all. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Today, we are going to witness a state level webinar on recalling the literary theories and criticisms to be presented by Mr. Louis Sahaya Henston, Assistant Professor, Sacred Heart College, Tirupati. Dear participants, we appreciate you on behalf of the Department of English for registered your name for the significant live webinar. Once again, thank you for being patient with us. We request all of you to please stand by and keep your camera off and microphone muted. The program will begin now. If you have any questions during the presentation, please text in the chat box. We will have time for interactive session at the end of the webinar. Without further ado, we shall start the program with invocation. One song can change a moment. One idea can change a world. One step can change a journey. But prayer can change even the impossible to possible. As we begin this webinar, let us seek the divine blessings. Now, I call upon our angelic choir of the department to lead us into prayer with a prayer song. Let's all close our eyes and feel the presence of God. Thank you for your feeble voice and significant sound. Prayer should always be a first response to every situation. Let us intercede God's blessings through His words from Holy Books.
Reading from the Bible, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7 and 8. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge. The discerning heart seeks knowledge. Teach us knowledge and good judgment. Amen. A reading from Bhagavad Gita. Perform every action with your heart fixed on the Supreme Lord. Seek refuge in the knowledge of Brahma. They who work selfishly for results are miserable. Reading from the Holy Quran 58:11. Allah will exalt in rank those of you who believe and those who have knowledge. Allah is aware of all what you do. This is the word of God. Thanks be to God.
Let us believe God guides us in all our ways. A beautiful smile is the best universal welcome. It can make the day a good day easily. With the same smile, I would like to invite our head department of English, Reverend Sister.
Distinguished dignitaries, honored resource person, efficient faculties, eminent scholars, participants, partakers of the day. A pleasant morning to all. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes on behalf of the PG Department of English. Really, we are very happy to invite you all to this webinar. Welcome every morning with a smile. Look on the new day as another special gift from your Creator, another golden opportunity from the giver of life. I invite the presence of God amidst us. Live your life in such a way that you will be remembered for your kindness, compassion, fairness, character, benevolence, and a force for good, who had much respect for life in general. It gives me an immense warmth and great pleasure to welcome our respected secretary of our institution, Reverend Mother C. Noel Rani, FSJG. We are fortunate to have her support, who toils in light and day for the progress of our institution. Mother, you have motivated us all enough by being an example of light in the darkness. I welcome dear Mother in her absentia. Greetings to one and all. It gives me a tremendous contentment to welcome the most esteemed personality who have won accolades in a respective field. She is our respected principal, Dr. E. Glitas Mangali, who aspires to make this webinar more alive. Now I welcome her in her absence here. I'm glad to express my heartfelt gratitude to the presenters of today's webinar, Mr. Louis Sahai Hinston, for accepting our invitation and presiding over this online platform. Our chief guest doesn't require an introduction, as he is a well-recognized figure in a reputed institution. He is known for his wonderful teaching and high achievements of the institution. Apart from this, he is a philanthropist and renders selfless service to the society. He has molded the life of students and served people with her kindness. We are so honored to have him as a resource person for this event. I am certain that all the participants present here are also moved. I surely wish to be his replica. Cheerful welcome, dear sir. It is my great happiness to extend a cheerful welcome to our Vice Principal, Reverend Sister A. John Diana, the source of knowledge and inspiration, who adorns the campus with her noble service to the entire stakeholders. Warm welcome, dear sister. Teachers are our idols. They inspire us each day and make the instruments stride towards the route of success. They equip us with the power of knowledge and propel all with endless wisdom to become better citizens of the future. With immense admiration and affection, I welcome all the staff of our department and individuals given a platform to gain understanding, focus on essential aspects, improve one's quality as excellent critic, attitude, and confidence that provide practical skills to cultivate mastermind as well as to realize the frequent changes needed in the field of literature. The webinar schedule definitely brushes upon an exciting and benefiting theme that discusses the aspects of literary theories and criticisms. I wish this session enlightens all and provides us and venture the journey in the space of literature as critics. Hope everyone will make this webinar possible with your opinions and views. Once again, welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you for your warm welcome, sister. Beauty gets attention. Personality gets a heart. One such personality for whom the court shoots. She is an idol of knowledge, experience, and inspiration to all. On behalf of the entire department, I welcome our beloved Vice Principal, Reverend Sister A. John Diana, FSAG, to address the participants.
Thank you very much for inviting me to address you all at this special occasion. I earnestly seek the help of the Computer Science Department, Ms. Meena, to assist me in my presentation. Thank you very much. Ms. Meena? As a PPT, if it is ready means I am also ready to present my address. Thank you very much. A joyful morning to everyone. The wisest and Reverend Sister A. M. Christella Priyadarshini, convener, Head Department of English, Mr. D. Louis Sahaya Henston, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Sacred Heart College, TPT, affectionate coordinators, dear loving students and scholars. Happy morning once again. Thank you. Lots of appreciation to the head of the department and the coordinators for organizing this webinar with a suitable title that penetrates science, and it is a significant to recall the picked up title, recalling by the catchy word, criticism. In my opinion, this is the magic word that could construct and reconstruct the thought when we criticize or being criticized. In a day-to-day life, we come across that is try to criticize constructively rather than destructive sense. To have a perfect walk, the child fell on the ground many times. Therefore, the child learns to eat, speak, drink, read, write, express, admire, hear, and so on. These happen only by repeated criticism of parents, siblings, relatives. Attempting to this seminar, similar situation, he or she, that you and I are the witnesses of this criticism. I'd like to enlighten you with a small story. Once about the home of Saint Mother Mary, Ramu, Miss Sumu, and Mr. Abdul. John said, why are you asking address? The angel replied, yeah, I got a list of people who were worthy to receive gift from God. John firmly asked, if that was the case, you might find my name too. The angel Gabriel replied, I'm sorry, John. I bought a list of people who loved God. I don't find your name. John felt very sad on the day. So the day went. And another day, the same angel Gabriel appeared to John and inquired John about Miss Saranya Deepika, Miss Infant Divya, Miss Infant Julie, Miss Pallavi, Miss Bindya, Miss Bharati, tall and unparalleled. Really, it is a great occasion that you have the resource person and who is going to enlighten you in all the aspects. This day will be a remarkable one and will assist you, will help you in the title that you have chosen. I appreciate everyone to take in this title, and I wish everyone to grow in a way as tall as much as possible. All the very best. God be with us. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, for your emboldened voice. Their original of English to introduce our expert of today's webinar.
Good morning, respected dignitaries, faculty members, research scholars from various institutions, and dear students. Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. As Department of English, in collaboration with the management of Gunzaha College of Arts and Science for Women, has organized a one-day state-level webinar on recalling the literary theories and criticism. I, Bindya, Assistant Professor of English, take immense pleasure to introduce our resource person, Mr. D. Louis Sahai Henston, Assistant Professor of English in Sacred Heart College, Tripatu. After completing his schooling in Tuticorin district, he pursued in the field of literature, initially at Kamaraj University and then at Sacred Heart College, Tripatu. He is a fabulous singer and a musician who also has great interest in scripting for plays. In 2016, he has published his paper, A Deconstructive Perception of Alice Walker's The Color Purple, in an international journal, Roots International Journal of Multidisciplinary Researchers. In 2017, he has also published Author of the Undiscovered Center for the Fulfillment of Meaning in both the International Journal, Journal for Research in Humanities and Science. As a young scholar, having 8 years of experience in teaching literature, he has invited as resource person to various institutions related to the topics of criticism. So, without further ado, I hand over the session to our magnificent, prolific, knowledgeable resource person, Mr. D. Louis Sahaya Henston. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, over to you, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Hearty welcome once again, sir.
Reverend Mother G. Rajamani, the Superior General, and Reverend Mother C. Noel Ronnie, the Secretary of the College, Reverend Dr. Glitas Sumangali, the Principal of the College, Reverend Sister A. Rajan, John Diana, the Vice Principal, Reverend Sister Christila Priyadarshini, Head Department of English, the convener of the program, the coordinators, staff members, participants, and the students. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Okay, friends, begin. Before entering inside the session, I would like to ask a few questions. Don't worry, you need not to write it on the text box. Just have it in your mind. What is the color of your toothbrush? Second one, how much paste have you taken today for brushing? You always worry. Why, sir, you ask all those things? Okay, I want to know. We always concentrate on great elements. We aspire great elements, but leave out the simple elements that really gives us joy. That is very, very important for our life. See, we sit in front of the laptop, or we sit in front of the mobile. We look, whatever we hear it as a disturbance. Okay, we may hear the chirping of birds, somebody knocks at the door, barking of the dogs, children play, bikeman is honking, car is passing. There are so many elements around us. But we always sometimes worried, or we never tend to hear them because we are all very serious now. My dear friends, listen. Listen to the sound which is near to you. Listen to the sound, maybe the bird sound, maybe the dog sound, maybe someone turns on the motor. Okay, listen. And at last you have to thank me for introducing these simple sounds. Once you have taught as a disturbance, now you are able to enjoy. Now, also, now I say, take a deep breath and exhale. Again, exhale. Now you say, good morning. Yes,
Good morning.
little better. Because whenever we say learning, immediately we become serious, rigid, concentrating. All the more when I say literary criticism, people are much worried. Boredom, they say that, sir, it's a very difficult subject to learn. Sometimes it puts us down. Sometimes it loses it takes away our self-confidence. Now, my dear friends, this one now we are going to learn. And we are learning together. And I'm going to share my knowledge, whatever I know, and you are going to share whatever you know. So we are going to learning together in this 1 hour session. I welcome you all in this session with tension-free environment. Yes. Shall we pause on? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Recalling the literary theories and criticism, I am Professor Henston from Department of English, Shift 2, Sekawat College, Tirupattur. Let's start with a definition. Friends, do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So literature, we start with this particular root. We want to know, how do we define literature? how do we define literature? And we have numerous definitions in front of us. We say it is a social, it is a reflection of society, reflection of life, or spontaneous overflow of feelings. We have so many definitions, numerous definitions in front of us. One. Second one, what really transforms a verbal message into a work of art, a thing of beauty? What really makes it? And the third one, what is the difference between what is the difference between the day-to-day language and the language in literature? Friends, are you able to see my screen? Is it visible? Am I sharing?
Sir, slideshow from the beginning.
So I have, yes, this is one. Yes, this is the first slide.
And go to slideshow, then start from the beginning. That one slide will be visible, right, sir? Here, all the slides are visible.
Only one slide is visible. I share only one.
Is it so? But for everybody, let me know from others. Please, you see only one slide or all the slides, participants?
One slide, sister.
Okay, sir, then you can continue.
Yes. So my question is, these questions leave us with numerous definitions. We try to define literature from various angles, and we want to give the definitions of what really transforms the message into work of art and a thing of beauty. And we want to find out what is the difference between practical language and the poetic language. Yet our quest continues. We try to explore again and again, and we want to go deeper. We want to take one step further. From there, I want to start my. So literary criticism, I want to teach. I want to take you from the etymology. It comes from the Greek word krine, means to judge. It is called etymology because we need to find out from where the word comes. So what is the real meaning of it? To judge. The term kritikos means a judge of literature. The term criticism term originated in the 4th century. People say, some say it starts with Aristotle's Poetics, and some say it starts from Plato, and some say previously. So we cannot say this is the place. We can't divide the criticism, beginning of criticism. Rather, it has its own history even before 4th or 5th century or previously. People like Heraclitus, Protagoras, Thales. There are so many people. There are so many. So we cannot concretely say this is where criticism began. But we said Aristotle's Poetics as one of the books, the important books, the guide for criticism. Criticism deals with understanding and appreciation of specific works and pattern. Someone writes and go, and we are not able to understand. Some read from their perspective with the help of the author, with the help of their environment, with the help of society, also with various approaches. They give the term to us and they explain to us so we are able to understand, appreciate, explain, or evaluate the particular work. So literary criticism is not a separate part of studies. It is also a creative process because someone creates and we involve, we work on it, criticize, we study, we apply our criticism in it and we study. Then our process starts. Means the following people, they try to create whatever they left or with the betterment they try. They begin. So literary criticism is a twin bond with creative process. It is not a separate part. Yes. So literary criticism, again, the definition is it's concerned with defining, classifying, expounding, evaluating works of literature. What is literature? I would say the word literature gets fulfilled when we arrive at the meaning. If there is no meaning, we can't call it something as a literature. Rather, we can call it group of words. If you're not able to understand a novel, you just leave away from the novel, or you won't touch that particular novel or particular work or particular text. The word literature is fulfilled when you arrive at meaning. So how do we arrive at the meaning? There are various sources. I have put it in the PPT. Just look at the first one is author. That's why I put it in the triangle. I have given much primacy to author because he produces. So literature, if you want to arrive at the real meaning of that particular literature, that is, we need to concentrate on. We can arrive at the meaning in various levels, various approaches. The first approach is author-oriented approach. The second one, context-oriented approach. Then reader-oriented approach. Then ideological-oriented approach, or textual-oriented approach. See, these are all various approaches. Since everybody knows Tamil, I would like to say one example. ஒரு line சொல்றேன். தலைவன் தொட்டான் தண்ணீர் சிவந்தது. This is a line. தலைவன் தொட்டான் தண்ணீர் சிவந்தது. When I give this particular poem, we can call it a poem. தலைவன் தொட்டான் தண்ணீர் சிவந்தது. When I give this particular line to a particular person, a youngster, he has his own interpretation. He interprets from a man and a woman, a boy and a girl, husband and wife, he interprets, right? When I give this to father, one of the reverend fathers, then they will interpret. Instant, this seems to be the first miracle of Jesus, because Jesus turned the wine into turned the water into wine. This was the first miracle of Jesus. Their interpretation will be different, and they arrive at the meaning from various approaches. And someone, sir, this seems to be Moses when he touched the river Nile. See, literature is there, and they arrive at the meaning with various elements. And scientifically, people can give reasons for that also. Done? So what I say, literary criticism, it mainly concentrate on the meaning. It tries to define the literature by its meaning. It tries to classify the literature by its meaning. It tries to expound the literature by its meaning and evaluate the literature by its meaning. If there is no meaning, there is no literature. We won't worry about it. We just throw it away.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, your slides was not visible, sir. Only the first slide is visible.
Okay.
Slideshow from the beginning, sir. Then it will be displayed one by one. Not seen, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wait a second. Now, from the beginning, sir, one by one you can present.
Now is it visible, sister?
Visible, sir, but all the slides are visible in the side. But only one slide must be visible, right? For that, you go to slideshow.
Yes, I put slideshow now.
Slideshow, and from the beginning or from the current slide, we have to start with.
Okay, this one. Literary criticism with various approaches.
Sir, which means the desktop is fully covered, sir, when you have shown. Now, as you go to slideshow, for example, 1 minute, sir. Because you were explaining in the middle of the slide, but we have been seeing only the first slide. Slideshow from the current slide.
Can I help you, sir?
Yes.
Please present the entire screen, sir. If you can present the entire screen, your slides will be visible.
Yes, sister. I put it. Is it okay, sister?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Yes. See, when I said literature, we mainly concentrate on meaning. So I have explained already the meaning we arrive at by various approaches. One is author-oriented approaches, or reader-oriented approaches, or context-oriented approaches, or ideological approaches. So whatever is literary criticism mainly concerned in defining in terms of meaning. It concerns in classifying in terms of meaning. It concerns in expounding in terms of meaning, evaluate by its meaning. So literary theory. So what is literary criticism? It's a various approaches, and we apply some theories, some ideas of people. So theory comes from, once again, we search the word theory, the etymology of theory. It is a Greek word, theoria, and it means contemplation or speculation. It's a general principle of practice. It is not specifically meant for one particular set of knowledge. Rather, it is general practice. For example, the ideas and the theories in psychoanalytical or in psychology, we apply it in literature. And Marx, it is something connected with the economy, something connected with society, we apply it in our tech. And philosophy, especially Aristotle, Plato, philosophers, their ideas, theory of imitation, theory of mimesis, and Nicomachean ethics, we apply it in literature. And it is a general principle to practice. It is not set apart for only for particular people. Linguistics, for example, it is another discipline we use it. So it is a general principle of practice. What is the ideas? Ideas of people. Literary critics, whomever we call it as a critic, need not to be a theorist, but they can apply the theory. So apply theories, which is the one of philosophical discussions in its method. It is not only practical, rather it is also philosophical, it is also logical, sometimes empirical, all this according to the concepts of theory we applied. So could you say some theories? So for example, in the contemporary theories, we have all kinds of start with Marx, then Darwin, Charles Darwin. It's an evolution theory. It's an entire shift. It's a paradigm shift in the idea of people. Okay. Then Freud, for example. Freud, he sets another agent called unconscious, which controls even our knowledge. So far, before knowledge, nobody thought about it. Okay. So far, knowledge is the source of everything. That's why the great discussion between Plato and Ion is it knowledge or inspiration? But people comes with various ideas and various theories, set of ideas they put it, and we try to practice, apply in literature especially, and we set the meaning for a particular text. So literary theory has its long ancestry from Aristotle's Poetics. Okay, literature. Why do we mainly concentrate on meaning? Roland Barthes would say, so he's a social product. Author is a social product. Author produces. He is a social product. He is influenced. He is influenced with various reasons. Okay, for example, he is influenced by society. He is influenced by the culture. He is inspired by the environment and his own psyche, his own family members, and his ideas. Also, he is influenced with various isms like rationalism, empiricism, Marxism, Dalitism, Ambedkarianism. So, he is the combination of, or he is the product of the particular society. He sets the meaning from anywhere he likes it. But we need to identify, and we need to identify not only from his side, we need to identify from the text, we need to identify from our own aspect. So we need to concentrate. We need to concentrate on the meaning mainly. For that, we need to set up various approaches. One particular element. I would say Hegel calls it idea creates the society. Idea creates a society. But Marx immediately he just dismissed the idea. He says the society that gives the idea. No, we need to balance, which is right. Which is right. Idea creates a society. Society creates the idea, which is right. Hegel says it's a dialectical movement of ideas. One dominates the other. One idea dominates the subordinate idea. Once upon a time, just imagine, go back to feudal system, Iron Age to feudal system to capital society to Industrializations, everything came into life now. Now you see we are working at home. So one idea that dominates the other idea, and it goes on. There is also dominant idea, also there is also subordinate idea in every society. Now, the author, the social product, he writes and goes, and he gives us a literature, and we read the literature. How do we arrive at the meaning? So, it opens up various approaches to arrive at the meaning, to appreciate, to evaluate, to interpret the work. Now, what are the various approaches? One is author-oriented. Second one is reader-oriented. The third one, context-oriented. The fourth one, text and language-oriented. Author-oriented, reader-oriented, context-oriented, text-oriented. I put various theories together and I classify them into various approaches, 4 approaches. One is author-oriented, reader-oriented, context-oriented, text and language-oriented. So what is author-oriented? It is known as traditional approach. Here we give importance to biographical details. We give importance to the intention of the author. And we give much importance to the intended meaning of the author. Author is at the center to set the meaning. We take author's biography and other credentials as a supplement to aid the meaning. So this is author-oriented approach. Traditionally, it is known as it is authorial meaning. Also, it is known as classical criticism. Reader-oriented approach. Reader sets the meaning. Author, we don't worry about author. Author dies and go. When he writes, he moves. That's all. We leave out author, and the reader, one who reads, what is his understanding, and he will perform accordingly. That is reader-oriented approach. Now, context-oriented approach. The ideas about psychoanalytical criticism, feminist criticism, new historicism, Marxist criticism, Bakhtin school, goes on. Psychoanalytical, we take the psychoanalytical aspects and we read a particular text. Feminist aspects and we read a particular text. And we apply feminist theory. Feminist theory, there is no theory called feminist theory. According to Ellen Showalter, feminist is in the wilderness. It is like a chameleon, it accepts and it emerges according to the needs of the hour. New historicism, we take history and we take it as a history in a parallel, and we read a text and we interpret or set the meaning for that text in new historicism. What is Marxist criticism? Marxist criticism mainly concentrate on the society and economy, and they much worried about upliftment of working class. So Marxist criticism mainly concentrated on social. So we take this particular idea and we read a text and we say, here the class struggle is there, the collective consciousness is there, and we want to say the importance of money, the importance of labor, and Bakhtin school discourse and all those things are there. The last one is the text-oriented theories. Text-oriented theories, that is, it comes in 4 categories. Author-oriented theories. Afterwards, we jump to text-oriented theories. We say, author is not necessary to set the meaning, and now I have a text, I just apply my ideas and I analyze the literary text and I arrive at the meaning by the text, from the text. So this has 4 categories. The first one is, so this is a mind map you can have. Author-oriented criticism, the classism and the humanism of various kinds, author-oriented. So Aristotle, Plato, you can put him under. But Aristotle and Plato, we can't put under one, not only classism, because Whitehead, great philosopher, he says, all the Western philosophy is a series of footnote to Plato. But we can say that classism and humanism is author-oriented. Context-oriented, psychoanalytical criticism, feminist, lesbian, gay criticism, it is gender studies. New historicism, cultural materialism, post-colonialism, Marxism and myth criticism. Reader-oriented approach, Stanley Fisher's reader response theory. And language-oriented, this is what we are going to concentrate today. This is formalism, new criticism, structuralism, and post-structuralism, deconstruction, it goes on. So text-oriented theories, today we are going to concentrate on formalism, practical criticism, structuralism, and post-structuralism, because one paved the way for the other, and one influenced the other, and we have so much of theory, which is text-oriented theories, also which is very, very important as a literature student to derive the meaning from the text. Okay. Formalism. It began in the year 910 in Russia. Emphasis on poetic form. Form parenthesizes concern for the representational, imitative, and cognitive aspect of literature. Literature is not to represent reality, but autonomous and autotelic. Just I read, that's all. I'm going to explain. Before entering into formalism, let's take one more aspect of meaning. When we read a novel, we want to arrive at the meaning by two ways. One is textual, the other one is contextual. So we derive two kinds of meaning. One is contextual meaning, the other one is textual meaning. What is textual? The meaning is inside. What is contextual? Contextual has got various aspects. For example, social aspects, gender aspects, psychological aspects. Okay, then author-oriented, author is at the center to set the meaning for it, and the theological aspects, hermeneutics aspects, interpretations could be done. Okay, I want to say one particular one particular paragraph from Bible, because Bible is a good literature. I'm not preaching, but I'm taking one particular example from the Bible. I want to explain what is contextual. People of Israel, who is known as God's chosen people, the Jews, they are the slave under Pharaoh, king of Egypt. You just understand the concept. It is not that murky. It's very easy to understand. So people of Israel, the chosen race of God, they are under slavery of Egyptians, the Pharaoh. Now God sent Moses. Okay, Moses, you go and deliver my people, come. When Moses went to Pharaoh and he asked Pharaoh to leave the people, Pharaoh is not ready. Now what Moses did? He wants to show. Then God said, I'm going to avenge them with the plague. I want to avenge them with the plague. God sends plague, one after another plagues, 10 plagues. Here you have to understand. God sent 10 plagues. The second one, the first plague. I explain only 2 plagues, okay? First plague, River Nile turned into red, turned into blood. Then it comes, okay, then the bees comes, locust comes, dust comes, pulidi urdu. Then what else goes on? At last, the 10th plague is slaughtering, means killing the firstborn of Egyptians. So Pharaoh is broken-hearted, and he said, "Go away from me, go away from me." And Israelites, they got their independence and they moved happily. This is the story. See, I want to explain what is contextual. Now, my dear people, please understand. Why do we need 10 plagues? He's a God, right? He would have sent 2, enough, 1, enough, correct? Why he wants to say 10th one? Yeah, second one. In order to leave people, he has to affect Pharaoh. Rather, he turns the Nile into red. And he avenges entire people. At last, 10th one, till then, his heart is hardened. Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He's not ready to leave. Now, when we read this particular passage, you will come to an understanding God is all powerful. Very good. First interpretation, contextual meaning. But Theological meaning is different. 10 is a numerical, means fullness. One. Second one, he touches Nile. God indirectly tells Pharaoh that I won your river god Hapi. The river god is known as Hapi. Then there are many gods, 9 gods are there. Okay, I don't want to say because it takes time. I won your god Hapi because he is a fertile god of fertility, and I touched that. The last one, 10th one, is the ultimate god. Who is the ultimate god? The Pharaoh, the king of the ruler is the king in Egypt. So he said, I attack you. See, I take all your firstborn. Now, it is theological. Scientifically, why the water turned into red, scientifically you can also prove. This is contextual. What is textual meaning? I read a text, I read a line, I have a close reading, and I take its devices, literary devices, and arrive at the meaning only from the text, not from any other sort. This is textual meaning. So formalism, now, it makes a paradigm shift from contextual meaning to textual shift. Textual meaning. It claims that meaning exists in the page. And the meaning could be arrived by analyzing the linguistic organization, linguistics elements of a particular text. Now we come here, the previous slide. See, it began in Russia. You know, Russia is a Marxist country, Stalinism. Okay, it is emphasis on poetic form. It concentrates on the poetic language, and concerns the representational, imitative, and cognitive aspects of literature. It does not worry about the external elements, external evidence, author, Vena, theological meaning, Vena, hermeneutics, Vena, for example. It leaves out everything and it concentrates only on. And it is not to represent. Literature is not representing. For example, she represents the issues in her writing. It's wrong. It is. The problem is, literature is not the representing reality. It explains, it autotelic, it is autonomous, and it itself, it can reveal out the meaning. So they concentrate on the internal meaning. So formalism mainly concentrates on form, and the formal devices like rhythm, meter, rhyme, simile, syntax, metaphor, and all your literary forms, it concentrates. See, it's a paradigm shift, my dear friends. So people can't digest this because so far they concentrated on author, setting the meaning with the author. If Dryden writes on Go, then we have to look at Dryden from his perspective, and we have to find out the intended meaning of Dryden out of that work. So it takes into society, everything it takes into account, and it sets a meaning. Now it's a paradigm shift entirely. It may be a reaction towards the authorial criticism, and it's a form. The literature, linguistic organizations, linguistic elements could reveal the meaning. So formalism, there were 2 schools. One is Moscow Linguistic Society, established by Roman Jakobson in 1915, and the Prague Linguistic Circle, it's by Vitas Slavsky in 1916. It is also known as Popayas Group. So these 2 very, very important. You can have it in mind. Russian formalism, Vitas Slavsky founding a member of 2 schools, and he said that literature is in ordinary language. What he said, according to Slavsky, literature is nothing. It is not something beyond your head. It is in ordinary language. But what it does, it gives you the ordinary aspects of life in an awful manner. With wonder, it gives you with wonder. It makes you to admire. It is called defamiliarization. He mentioned in the book Art as Technique, in his writings, he mentioned art as technique. He introduces the term defamiliarization. And Roman Jakobson, you know that the main concept is carnival. I'm not touching this. I'm touching on defamiliarization. What is this? Defamiliarization, familiarizations. What is familiarizations? See, literature text, we say it is a mirror of life. It is a mirror of society. We take every aspect from the mirror of society, and we write it in a different language, in a sugar-coated language, so everybody enjoy. A poetic language. See, I would like to give one example, that is pen. I was given with a pen in the 3rd standard. The first day when I hold the pen, I was very happy, as if I have won the world. Carefully, I closed the pen. Carefully, I hold the pen. I wrote, finished. Now, see, opening. It becomes normal, becomes habitual, becomes automatic, and we are not conscious of it. Rather, it becomes part and parcel of life. These aspects are touched upon by the art, and it gives to you in a defamiliarized manner. So we wonder at, wow. I have given the example that the first one, Talaivan Totan, Tannir Sivandadu. ஜீசஸ் தண்ணீரை திராட்சை ரசமா மாத்திட்டாரு, அவ்வளவுதான். ஆனா இப்படி சொல்லும்போது வா சூப்பர். Art recover the sensation of life. The technique of art make objects familiar. The technique we use, it makes it, gives its importance. So I don't know where the life is, I don't know where the love is. Same sentence. அதில் பாட்டில் அழகாக எழுதுறாங்க, உடலுக்குள் எங்கே உயிர் உள்ளது என்பதும் உயிருக்குள் காதல் எங்கே இருப்பதும் என்பதும் நினைத்தால் they gave much importance to the text, leave out literature. The definition called literature. The definition of literature, sorry. Why? Literature is not only text. It is a combination of culture, society, environment, everything. So it is also needed. Just like they left the external evidences and they have taken the cultural means, the text, the autonomous elements or the autotelic elements. I remember Buddha. So sometimes people may ask, sir, which is right? Then what do we need to follow? Sir, textual oriented or contextual oriented? Everybody has this question, right? I had this question. So I remember Buddha here. He said to follow the middle path. Follow the middle path. In the sense, if you want to play guitar, you cannot fully tune it. The string get cut. You can't play. You can't also lose it. Okay, அதிகமா வச்சா டைட் ஆயிடும், குறைச்சிடும், பண்ண முடியாது. Exactly, you have to keep it. Then you can play. You can make a beautiful melody. Okay, we shall move on to new criticism. Next, followed by Russian formalism, new criticism emerges. So it is also a reaction movement towards the authorial criticism. As I have mentioned, dissatisfaction with biohistorical subjective literary criticism and the growth of formalism brought about two important developments. So formalismத்திலிருந்து வருது author center or classic criticism comes against them. So new criticism is by and large true and practical criticism because they much worried about text, developed in 1930s and 70s. So practical and new criticism focused attention to a text and claimed it is the meaning derived from the poem must be subjective because we are doing research in the literary devices and shall recognize the autonomy of the work itself and existing for its own sake. So it aims to ignore the external evidences. I know I have mentioned already what is external evidences. I have mentioned it here. Biography of the social conditions and social conditions at the time of its production, history and psychology, it ignores. And interval evidences and trace the internal evidences to set the meaning to analyzing the literary devices. So what is the internal? This is diction, meter, form, all those elements. New critics claim a close reading of a text. The principles of literary criticism are basically verbal. It is not society-oriented. It is not psyche-oriented. It is not concept-oriented. It is verbal-oriented. And they trace the meaning by interactions of words, figures of speech, and symbols, organic unity. So they take linguistic organization together or linguistic elements into considerations and find out the meaning out of it. Distinction between genre is not essential. New critics look at any genre, lyric, narrative, whatever, and conceive to be words, images, and symbols rather than character, thought, and plot. They take it as words, images, and symbols and literary elements. Practical criticism, it is by I.A. Richards, it is empirical. What is empirical? It is observable. Science, it is science, scientific. What is empirical? Empirical science. What is empirical science? We analyze the data and we come with concrete conclusion. We say, these are the facts are there, these are the data are available. So now I claim that, now I say, conclude this is because of particular cause. Not theoretical, not philosophical, not only theological. It is theoretical, it is not theoretical, it is empirical. The activity of unsigned and anonymous poems. What he did, Richard went with a piece of work and give to the students. And it is anonymous poems without title also. And he asked his students, the fellow friends, to interpret. The interpretation you can expect in what amount of interpretations you would have get out of this. So this is an activity. It is unsigned, anonymous poems he has given, and no title also. Poems without title marked at the beginning of practical criticism. So I would like to say one song here in Tamil. That song is meant for a lover. தமிழ்ல சொல்றேன். ஒருபோதும் உனை பிரியா நிலையான உறவு ஒன்று வேண்டும். என் உடல் கூட எரிந்தாலும் உன்னாமும் நான் சொல்ல வேண்டும். நினைவிலும் நீயே, என் கனவிலும் நீயே, நீங்காத நினைவாக. அதுல மட்டும் ஒரு இறைவான் சேர்த்துட்டான். If I give this poem to people, அந்த இறைவாவை தூக்கிட்டு இல்ல இறைவானே வச்சு கொடுத்துருவோம். How do you interpret? It's an anonymous poem and no title. யாருக்காக டெடிகேட் பண்ணது, என்ன விஷயம், we have not mentioned it. And the criticism and the interpretation would come from various angles, and people try to concentrate on from their own subjective point of view, rather the objective point of view is less. He did this test. Now, poem before the reader's printed page inhibited an unconditional response. We need to give close reading, analyzing the linguistic elements, devices, then we will arrive at an objective meaning out of it. So new criticism claims that meaning is objective.
Richard, headset எடுத்துக்கிட்டுமாடா? இது வயர்லெஸ் எடுத்துக்கிட்டுமான்னு கேக்குறேன். ஏன்னா கிளாஸ் நடக்கும்.
Meaning exists on the page. Meaning exists on the page. So new criticism claims meaning is not somewhere, it's not external, it's on the page. It insists in objective meaning, transcending meta to practical. So new criticism, its concepts, it opposes a concept of romantic criticism. Why? Romantic criticism, William Wordsworth, spontaneous overflow of feeling. Because romantic criticism is known as expressive criticism. Romantic criticism holds literature as a vehicle to express one's feelings. So romantic criticism says it is subjective. You take literature and you express yourself. Spontaneous overflow of feeling. Just remember the word spontaneous overflow of feelings. Romantic criticism, it takes literature as a vehicle to express one's idea, emotions, credentials, creative power. Romantic criticism, romantic poems. Everything is their own experience, they explain. So, Ode to Nightingale, Solitary Reaper, Daffodils, Ode Intimation of Immortality, everything is their own problems and their own expectations, they revealed out. So, express their feelings. So, it is against romantic criticism. New criticism is against romantic criticism. It opposes the concepts of romantic criticism. Okay, Ransom claims new criticism is more scientific. I said it is scientific because it is empirical and precise and systematic. It's a serious business. Okay. He urges criticism must move from historical scholarship to aesthetic appreciation and understanding. So author-oriented criticism we must leave. Then we have to come back to empirical study. In short, critic must study literature, not about the literature. This is a wonderful caption. That's why I mentioned here. Critic, he has to study the literature. He has to study literature, not about the literature. What is the reason behind it? Why he mentioned like this? Not that. What is meant here? I want to know. So if you go by about the literature, then you may land up in intentional fallacy, or you may land up in affective fallacy, or sometimes you will be much worried only with genetic fallacy. What is intentional fallacy? Seeking the intention of the author. What is affective fallacy? Carried away with the emotions after reading a particular text. What is genetic fallacy? Why he has written this particular thing? This is genetic fallacy. Because of a short period of time, just I'm rushing. Now, we come to structuralism. It seems to be a little difficult, but it is not at all difficult. Following new criticism, structuralism emerges. Structuralism is an intellect movement. It is by Ferdinand de Saussure. It has been started as a mode of approach in linguistics and anthropological studies, especially. So anthropology, you have to remember Lévi-Strauss. It has influenced all other areas such as sociology, psychoanalysis, philosophy, history, economy, and political theories, semiotics, myth studies, literary criticism, because structuralism claims everything is structured. In the world, everything is structured, according to structuralism. The planet, it is structured. Tragedy is structured by Aristotle. Everything has got a structure. Everything is structured, even language is structured. If there is no structure, then we can't arrive at a real meaning. So before structuralism, it is known as, before the structuralism means, literature has got two divisions. One is before 1920, after 1920. What is that? That is formalism, emergence of formalism. Means before textual-oriented approach, after textual-oriented approach. Before 1920, work was considered as a work. Because work is close-ended. It is given by the author. And in order to set the meaning, we need to take the credential of the author to set the meaning. And it is close-ended. Then after 1920, the emergence of formalism, it changed, a shift from work to text. We start to call text. What is text? It is a linguistic organization, Linguistics Elements organization. So this text is open-ended. It could give various meaning to people when we analyze it. What is the linguistic elements that we know? Phonology, morphology, syntax, sentence, semantics, and discourse. We would have studied in linguistics. Okay, phonology. Phoneme is the smallest unit of the language. Phoneme ஒரு சத்தம் வந்து ஒரு மொழியினுடைய அடிப்படை கூறு. அதுல இருந்து என்ன பண்ண பல சத்தங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஒரு வார்த்தைகள் ஆகிறது. That is phonology. Then பல சத்தங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஒரு வார்த்தையாக உருவாவதற்கு காரணம் வந்து phonology. Then it changed into morphem. That's morphology. வார்த்தைகளாக மாறுகிறது. One word, combination of other sound, then it changes. For example, boy is a morphem. Boys is not a morphem. Syntax, combination of sentence, then semantics. What is semantics? Sentence, combination of words with a complete meaning. But if the meaning is right or not, we need to check it. That is semantics. I eat an aeroplane. It's a right sentence. Subject, verb, object. Correct, sir. But what is semantics? Which is not possible. I attend my funeral. Which is possible? No. Sentence-wise, it's right. So, this is structuralism. We concentrate on the linguistic elements. What are the linguistic elements I have mentioned? Ferdinand de Saussure was the founder of modern linguistics. Here, there are two linguistics. We can say there are various aspects of linguistics. Then Ferdinand de Saussure was the founder of modern linguistics. Then other linguistics is known as historical linguistics. I will explain to you. Prior to Saussure, predominant modes of analyzing language were historical and philological. So before Saussure, it is known as historical linguistics. They much worried about the parental language, from where the word comes. History of English literature, history of English language, history of English language, from where this word comes. For example, the word box. What does it mean in in a modern period or pre-modern period or in the middle period, we will analyze. So this is a problem with the historical, and they take the language in diachronic. They have mentioned the diachronic approach. What is the diachronic approach? Taking a language from the history. So, for example, we did theoria. Theory comes from the word theoria. This is historical approach, diachronic approach. What Saussure took? He took synchronic, given the language in a particular time, and analyzed the language there itself. That is modern linguistics. So diachronic over a period of time, synchronic is a given time. For example, villain. Villain is a word with a person cruel or a person maybe antagonist. But now, in those time, Shakespearean time, it is known as a menial worker. Now it is changed. If you use the word villain, then you need not to refer the entire history. You need not search. You can search in the synchronic approach itself. You can finish it. Okay. Saussure's opposition, there is no conventional relationship between words and things. Second, it challenges the variety of reality as somehow independent and existing outside of language. It reduces the language merely a name-giving system. If there is one-to-one relationship, then we call it, this is called bad because it is bad. It is only name-giving system. There is no one-to-one. It is arbitrary. Saussure claims that language is a system of signs in relation. No signs has a meaning in isolation. Rather, its significance depends on its difference from other signs. That you need not worry now. I will explain in the forthcoming slide. Finally, Saussure made a distinction between two dimensions of language. One is lang and parole. One is structured system. Another one is individual utterance. So this is structuralism's concept. One is sign. Saussure called languages full of sign. What is sign? Sign gives a prescribed meaning. Sign is different from symbol. Symbol has got particular meanings. Sign has got different meanings. Okay, various aspects of meaning you can give. Language is not naming process, but psychological process. Then this is very important. Linguistic sign is made up of two. One is signified, the other one is signifier. What is signifier? Signifier is utterance. The word we utter. Signified is the concept. Signified is a concept. When I say dog, I utter the or g sound. Together I utter, this is signified. Concept, I remember something. Concept. That may not be dog. I can remember even my friend. Yes. Language is of sign. So sign two entities, signified and signifier. Signified is a concept and signifier is a sound image to the word. Okay. And he calls it lang and parole. Lang is language, the rules of the language. What is parole? Individual utterance. Lang is abstract, it is inside. If I speak with Tamil people, they are able to understand because they have the lang inside their mind. They have the rules. For example, if I say, because you have the lang inside, the rules inside, set of conventions inside, and it comes out of as a parole. Actually, I native vandhen solirukku. But naturally, native varuvan. Adhulum pathina, naturally, native vandhen sollala. Na nathu vandan. Nee saapittu vittaya, idan correct abstract, correct rule ulla apdi irukum. Ana na eppadi solluven? Nee saaptiya? Just concrete. It's utterance. And with this comes something similar with Noam Chomsky, American Linguistics, Competence and Performance. I don't want to touch upon because it's time already. The last one is very important concept, binary opposition. This is episteme. This is epistemology of Saussure. He says, people understand the object by its difference. So binary oppositions. If there is no opposition, you can't understand the particular word. See, for example, when you say dark, when you say light, it is absence of darkness. So immediately we compare with the other element and we understand this difference. So if I understand yellow, it is not because red, it is not because green, it is yellow. I don't understand this is yellow, no. When I say this is matte, because it is not red, it is not bad. I understand. See, I understand myself. I am rich because I'm not poor. I am poor because I'm not rich. I am clever because I am not. Suddenly, I don't get the word. I am good because I am not bad. So these are the basic concepts of structuralism. Because of time, I just rushed. Remember, and I have touched upon important aspects of all the schools. You can also go and read. Now, I hope and I believe that I have done justice to you to also kindle the interest in you to read the literature, literary criticism, and various theories by my talk of honor. Thank you.
Sir, really, you impressed by your session, sir. Really, we are taken up, enlightened by your knowledge, your skill, and so on. Thank you very much, sir. Over to Deepika.
So please accept our sincere praise for our stunning presentation. The slides you have shown enlighten us a close look at recalling theories and criticisms that we couldn't gain in elsewhere, sir. We agree that your presentation is very much interesting and linguistic, sir. We hope you can join us again in future. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much once again, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Topics consist only in the greater clarification of answers to the basic questions of life. Now I request Ms. Sophia, Assistant Professor, Department of English, to take over this technical session. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon to all. By doubting, we are led to question. By questioning, we arrive at the truth. By Peter. Now it's a time to post your questions. Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can post in the chat box. So it will, or you can switch on your microphone and you can ask question. Do you have any questions? Can you post it in the chat box? Or you can ask. Sir, shall we wait for a few minutes, sir? If any questions, please let them ask.
Sure, sister. Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. Sir, we have one question. Could you please explain a few points about translational criticism? Translation. It is translating. Can you explain a few points about translational criticism? Sir? Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I hear you.
Can you please explain a few points about translational criticism?
Yes, ma'am, I'm not very aware of it. If it is something connected with this, I can do it.
Okay, sir, no questions. Sister?
They are posting it in YouTube, it seems. Ma'am?
No, sister, it is not there.
Participants, you post your questions, or else we shall wind up the session. Over to Deepika now.
As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words but to live by them. I wish to invite Ms. F. Zenat from 2nd MA English to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the sea. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first of all commence to accord glory to the Almighty God for making today's occasion a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank our Reverend Mother, C. Noyer Rani, FSAD, Secretary, for your valuable guidance and overseeing the day's event of a 10-1. We are grateful to our Reverend Sister Dr. E. Gita Sumangli, FSAG Principal, for her support and to bear a hand for this remarkable session. It's my gratitude to show my sincere thanks to our well-wisher, Reverend Sister A. John Diana, FSAG Vice Principal, for your continuous support to hold up this event, you fortunate one. Thank you, Sister. It's my tribute to show gratitude towards our moderator, D. Louis Sahai Henston, Assistant Professor of Sacred College, for your extravagant contribution and dedication for this victorious plenary. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our head of the department, Reverend Sister and Christella Priyadarshini, who is our inspiration for the smooth running of the entire department, especially for organizing this event with a significant difference. Thank you, Sister. My heartfelt thanks to the heads of various departments and faculties for your valuable contribution and tireless service for this occurrence, which is extraordinary and outstanding. Thank you, staff. Finally, I thank all the participants from various prestigious colleges and institutions for their cooperation, patience, and participation in making this episode a successful and notable one. Thank you all. Gratitude will shift you to higher frequency and you will attract much better things. Once again, my heartfelt regards to all the dignitaries, staff members, and my dear friends. Thank you all.
Thank you, Zenith, for your words of gratitude. Before we close this webinar, as I leave a note, a worthy quotation from the famous philosopher Confucius. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Once again, thank you everyone for you have been connected with us for an hour and more. Let's live and relive, let's learn and relearn, let's be the seekers of knowledge. All the very best. Have a nice day. Thank you, one and all.
Dear participants, the Google form link is posted in the chat box. Kindly fill it up. Dear participants, hope you have received link. Kindly fill it up. After filling the feedback form, you can exit. Thank you all once again. After filling the feedback form, you can exit. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Once again.
Sister, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Dear participants, kindly fill the feedback link, feedback form. You can exit. Thank you one and all.